that the problem of underage pregnancies must not be viewed as a burden of the Ministry of Education alone. We in the ministry broke the silence. It's a multi-sectoral challenge that calls for concerted efforts across a broad spectrum of prayers for it to be stemmed. The law, ladies and gentlemen, is clear on defilement, and none of us, is above the law. We're dealing with a complex issue, and we will work with all relevant government agencies to effect the urgent changes that are required. The Teacher Service Commission has taken firm and decisive action, as you have heard, against teachers found culpable of defiling learners. I want to thank Dr. Macharia for the really quick action that she took. There is also a standing ministerial team finalizing standard operating procedures to be rolled out in schools to increase safety and security. The PS has referred to that. We must and will make schools safe and secure zones for every child in our country. In addition, I call on parents, guardians, and members of the community to play the role in inculcating good behavior and protecting our children. We must reject the individualism of child responsibility and honor the wisdom of our ancestors that it takes a village to raise a child. We all have a responsibility to protect God's gifts. I particularly appeal to parents with children who walk to and from school to pay particular attention to the time these children leave home. I issued clear guidelines a few weeks ago on schooling time, and I expect those guidelines to be followed to the letter. We will not compromise the safety of our learners for a few extra hours of tuition. I'm going to repeat that. We will not compromise the safety of our children for a few extra hours of tuition that actually does not help them. Most of our children are falling prey to pedophiles and opportunists. I also wish to reiterate that holiday tuition is still prohibited. Stern action will be taken against persons who go against this directive. Parents, it's holiday time. And I have to confess, I'm totally shocked by the clips that I have seen of young children in discourse. I'm shocked. I'm totally shocked. How don't you know where your 12-year-old is in the afternoon? How don't you know that? Why would you allow your daughter or son, for that matter, to be exposed to these really dangerous habits of going out in the afternoons for disco, partaking drink and drugs, right? And engaging, actually, in acts that all of us would be ashamed not only to engage in, but to actually see. And so I'm really tired of getting these clips of our young children, right, in these discotheques. You need to take responsibility for these children. Honestly, it's actually a totally embarrassing situation, and it's a shame. We have let them down. We have refused to teach them. We have refused to guide them. We have placed other activities that we are undertaking above the right of these children to a normal childhood. Because these discos are not normal childhood at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for both our young boys and girls. And I get these clips every single day. It's happening all over our country. And so I actually challenge our parents to ensure that they know where their children are during the holiday break. 2 months is not too long to look after your child. It is not. It's not too long. And it's also not too long, right, to actually lay a good foundation for these children. So I think all of us must take this responsibility seriously. If we find children outside at a certain time, it doesn't really matter whether it's your child or not. If that child comes from your community, send them home. Send them home and talk to their parents. Save them now. It's still possible to do that. In a few years, it won't be possible to save them. It will be too late already. And so again, as my colleagues have done, I'm truly appealing to our parents. Let's take our responsibility seriously, and especially during this holiday season. Ladies and gentlemen, the candidates whose results we are releasing today will form the second cohort to be admitted to secondary schools under the 100% transition policy. The ministry has already conducted a mapping of vacancies in all categories of schools. We're ready to admit more learners under the free-day secondary education program. The ministry will work with relevant agencies to ensure that no candidate misses a place in secondary school. We will work with relevant authorities and agencies to ensure that all our candidates find a place in secondary school. Our Basic Education Principal Secretary, Dr. Kipsang, has already released a circular outlining details of the program. I'm happy to announce that the ministry has now managed to stamp out cases in which private schools operated multiple examination centers with the aim of engaging in an ethical